Assalamualaikum students, hope you're doing really great over there. My name is Miss Mavish and today I'm going to teach you the class 5 lesson, The Skylark. So before starting the reading of The Skylark, which is the poem written by Christina Rossetti, let's discuss the difficult words meaning. Students, the first word we have speck, mean a small dot. When we see things that is very far from us, it shows a dot. This is called speck. Second, soar means rise high. Tender means soft. Stalk, stem of a plant. Swift means fast. So these are the difficult words that we will discuss in our reading. So let's start our reading. Now students, we are going to do the reading of the lesson The Skylark. There is another difficult meanings. Hang between the two mean between the two, it doesn't mean that we are hanging between the two, it's mean the skylark is between the earth and the sky. In gay occurred mean in happy harmony with. On the wing in flight. Skylark is a songbird. Speck we have discussed, it means a small dot. Soar means circle and wheeled about. Now let's start the reading of the poem of Skylark. I saw and heard one sunny morn. Morn mean morning. The skylark hang between the two. Hang mean the skylark is flying between the sky and the earth. Singing speck above the corn. Speck mean a small dot. In this stanza, the poet is discussing about the beautiful and the peaceful scene of nature. The poet seems to be in peace, enjoying the sight of the skylark in a calm setting. In this stanza, a skylark is flying between the green earth and the sky. It looks like a singing speck above the corn. Now let's move to the second stanza. In stage below in gay occurred. White butterflies dance on the wing, and still the singing skylark soared, and the silent sang and sought to sing. The skylark, in this stanza, the poet is saying the skylark flies effortlessly up in the sky. The poet walks in between the cornfield and say the nest of the skylark is somewhere among the stalk. The skylark is flying in the sky and he is singing as well as the butterflies too. Now let's move to the third stanza. The cornfield stretch on the tender green, the right and left beside my walks. I knew I had a nest unseen somewhere among the million stalk. In this stanza, the poet is saying that he is walking in the cornfield and he says that the nest of the skylark is somewhere among the stalk. He is saying that he can see the nest of the skylark. The poet stopped for a moment to hear the song of the skylark because skylark is singing a song and poet wants to listen it. The Christina Rossetti talks about the scene, a beautiful nature and the birds. Now let's move to the last stanza. And as I paused to hear his song, while swift the sunny moment slid, perhaps his mate sat listening long and listened longer than I did. In the last stanza, the poetess is saying that he stopped for a moment to hear the song of the bird, but what he noticed there, his mate, the skylark mates are also listening the song of the bird. So this is the poem of the Skylark written by Christina Rossetti. Now let's move to our question answers and explanation of the lesson The Skylark. Students, we have done the reading in detail about the Skylark of the poem written by Christina Rossetti. In this poem, I am going to give the explanation once again, a deep-rooted information about the skylark. In this poem, the poet is talking about the bird, a songbird, a skylark, who is flying in the sky and who is hanging between the earth and the sky. And he was flying in the sky as well as the butterflies are also listening to it. The poet stopped for a moment to listen the song of the bird, and there's a numbers of mates of the skylark was also listening his song. The poetess is saying that the skylark was moving toward his nest that is unseen, and the poetess was in the cornfield as well. So this is the poem of the skylark. Student, we have discussed the difficult meanings of the word. Now we are going to move the question answers and the reference to the context of the skylark. Now let's move to it. Now the first question we have is, where was the skylark? The skylark was hanging between the two. It means the skylark was hanging between the earth and the sky. This is the answer of the question. Now let's move to question number 2. Who is listening to the bird song? As the poetess says that he stops for a moment to listen the song of the bird, and the skylark's mates are also listening. So the answer is over here is the skylark's mate are listening to the bird's songs, skylark songs as well. Now students, we are going to move to the reference to the context. Reference to the context mean we are going to put 2 or 3 lines of the poem, and we need to find it out that what the poet is saying in these 2 lines and who wrote the poem and the story is all about. Now we have the reference in the stage below in the gay acre. White butterflies dance on the wing. So these 2 lines. In reference we gonna write it down the name of the poet and the lesson as well, the poem. So we gonna write it in the reference. These lines have been taken from the poem The Skylark, written by Christina Rossetti. You can also write it down. These lines have been taken from the poem The Skylark by Christina Rossetti. It is about the bird called skylark. So always remember it students, in reference we need to write it down the poet name and poem name. So now these are the 3 questions which is relevant to these 2 lines that is taken from the poem The Skylark. What was the stage above? The stage above, what does it mean? What is the stage above? It means the skylark is between the sky and the earth. So what is above the stage? It is the sky. Now the next question we have is, what was in the stage? In the stage above were fine sun. So he was saying that what was in the stage above? It is a sky. And what was in that? It is a fine sun, a bright sun. Now in the last question, what in particular does the word acre refer to? It refers to harmony. He was happy in harmony. He was singing, he was calmly flying, he is enjoying the pleasant weather. So this is all about. I hope you will understand it really well, because we discuss it in detail about it, but you need to learn the question answers, words meaning, and read thoroughly about the poem. See you in the next lecture. Allah Hafiz.